Leber's congenital amaurosis is a genetic eye disease that leads to blindness in children. There's many different subforms of this disease, 19 different forms. And we are developing QR-110 as a new therapy for patients that suffer from Leber's congenital amaurosis type 10. In this specific form of the disease, patients are born with impaired vision and typically go blind completely by the age of 6. And the only thing that they will have left for the next few decades is the being able to see the difference between light and dark. So they can see day or night, but that's what it is. For these patients today, there's no treatment options available whatsoever. So they're blind, they're diagnosed, they're blind, and that's basically the end of it. And we hope to provide with QR-110 a treatment option for these patients that helps them to see again. We believe there's about 5,000 patients with this particular form of the disease, but at the same time, given that there's no therapies, it might be very well possible that it's underdiagnosed, and that once we make a therapy available for these patients, that it turns out that there's actually many more patients that turn out to have this specific form of genetic blindness. But that's something that we'll have to see over time. So we think there's about 5,000 patients that typically get diagnosed in childhood. In the first few months or the first year of life, the parents of patients notice that something's wrong with the visual connection that they make with their child and the way that the child uses the eyes. That typically leads to a journey across several different ophthalmologists, first general ophthalmologists and then pediatric ophthalmologists, that eventually will do a genetic test to establish what exact form of the genetic blindness these patients have. Once the patients are then diagnosed, there's currently no treatment, so not a lot that can be done. At the same time, many patients don't get diagnosed because today, in many parts of the world, genotyping is not reimbursed. So the cost for that, which is still $2,000 to $3,000 per patient, would have to be paid for by the patient itself. So in many cases, there's actually no accurate diagnosis made because of that reason.